Food for thought. Extraordinary things come from ordinary things. That's really, really cheesy, but it's true. Ordinary experiences, ordinary things of occurrences of life can eventually turn into extraordinary things. For instance, if all of a sudden, I'm just thinking this off the top of my head. Imagine you just buy a random pair of shoes. Just by chance. And then a few years later, you don't wear them. You don't do anything with them. You just keep them inside the box. And then all of a sudden, 5 years later, they are discontinued and they just so happen to be a very particular brand that you had no idea. And then they become famous or niche or something that's highly demanded upon. That is like you. You appreciate and value every single day that you are here. Not necessarily to value yourself on a numerical scale or a numerical level, but you appreciate every single day that you live because you can take something every single day that you live, or you can give back any time that you're alive. For example, it is such a good idea. I think it's so cute to especially girls supporting girls. Every day, give a girl, another person, a compliment. It could be about their hair, their shorts, their shoes, their shirt, their purse, whatever. Because the energy you give is the energy you receive. And that's an ordinary action of a conversation. But then you can turn that into making that something that has value. Because honestly and true-heartedly, who does not like receiving a compliment? About your hair, your outfit, or your nails, something. You cannot deny that you do not like compliments. Because, there's some people that are pick me or whatnot, but deep down, everybody likes a nice small compliment. You might not remember that compliment because sometimes compliments are easy to forget when insults are really easy to remember, which is ironic, I think, but nevertheless, you can do ordinary things to become extraordinary. For example, get out of bed and you walk a mile. Get out of bed, go for a 5-minute walk. Get out of bed, brush your teeth, drink a glass of water, and look outside your window every single day. You will learn something from that ordinary habit every single day. Imagine you started going for 5 minutes of walk, a 5-minute walk. And then eventually you'll have enough stamina for a 7-minute walk. And then a 10, and then a 12, and then a 30, and then a 40, and so forth. Those ordinary habits, those ordinary doings can turn into something extraordinary. And sometimes our lives and our days are absolutely ordinary. Get up, do whatever before work, and then go to work, and then come back. But the thing that really defines your job and who you are and how you are as a person is based upon what you do. And so small ordinary tasks can build into something magical. For example, if you solely focus on reading presentations, how do people structure presentations? How do people give, talk, articulate, structure? Ordinary things. Learn this, yada yada, boring. Ordinary information. But then, when it comes time for you to give your presentation, amazing superstar, not rocket star, superstar at presentations because you did the ordinary things to become extraordinary. And if doing ordinary things is mundane, let it be. Because then you won't honestly be able to appreciate the good things and the extravagant things that you're able to do. Because, for example, I've had to do so many tasks these past 4 weeks that took me forever and ever, and I was just getting a hang of it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? And I got it, and they were ordinary tasks, okay? And then all of a sudden, I had a meeting at 3, like a training meeting at 3, and then I had to finish up this project before 3 so I could, like, get my testing done, figure out all the not even numbers, but, like, get everything in order so I can proceed from my training. And what would have taken me a hot second a few weeks ago, literally probably 2, took me less than an hour because I did the ordinary things to be able to become efficient at those mundane things. And it's really like compound interest. Imagine yourself as a stock. You invest $1 in yourself every single day, and you have a 2% interest rate or 2% appreciation. You do that. Okay, I actually don't know this very well. Never mind. But literally all I'm trying to say is invest in yourself literally 1% every single day. And over time, give yourself a month, give yourself a year. You're gonna be extraordinary. Not extraordinary, extraordinary. And it's as simple as that. Doing these mundane things, doing these boring tasks are boring and they're stressful, and life can get stressful. But the thing is, to be able to do the small things, ordinary things correct, or I should say, to do the big extraordinary things correct, you have to do the ordinary things to almost perfection. And if you want to skip all the way to the extraordinary abilities and capabilities and skills, you got to do the fundamentals correct. For example, another one, basketball. I don't know. I think basketball's very easy to talk about skills. Sorry, there's so many bugs crawling on me. I'm in like a little picnic area. I digress. But imagine you are trying to free throw, okay? And you get one in. Sweet, perfect. But then you totally miss the next basket. It goes literally not even to the rim, not even to the backboard. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? Well, maybe your positioning is wrong. Maybe the way that you're arching, you're like, I don't know the right terms, but like flicking your wrist. Maybe you're flicking your fingertips wrong. Maybe you're not using the right momentum, the right technique, all that stuff. All those ordinary things, you got to do right so you can get that free throw shot. And then you can make that winning point, that winning shot in the game that your coach is like, if you don't make this, you got to run a suicide or something. A suicide is like, in basketball terms, is going to every single line and back to like the outer court line. That's what like we did when I used to play basketball. That's like what we called like basketball suicides, and we had to go all the way down to the court and then back. But whatever. The point is, do the ordinary things correct. Live the ordained life. Live a very mundane life at times to be able to get those skills particularly correct and right and good. Because then those skills will translate and transfer into something that is way bigger than you and I could ever even imagine. Back to Apple. Steve Jobs literally took a calligraphy class. Random, ordinary calligraphy. And as you now know, Steve Jobs was and is the founder of Apple. And he has all these different texts and all these different fonts, and the ordinary things must be done correct. And sometimes that means living an ordinary life at times. But every single ordinary day that we have, there is a skill being used, and a skill being learned, and a skill being reinforced. So do not take these ordinary days for granted, because they will go by quick. But you gotta be quicker in learning. No, I'm just kidding. But these days will go by fast. And try to take away every single thing that you can away from them. Because if you don't try to be purposeful and making a point about remembering what you learned that day. Not that that day was a waste, but I just think it's so important to be able to take away key parts of your day and learn from them, and going back to the personal investment 1% every single day. Because you are the only person that can truly invest in yourself. So do it. Just do it, Nike. Just do it. But yeah, I just want you to know you are doing great. It might suck right now, but life sucks sometimes, to be honest and brute, truthfully blunt. But the thing is, just as many downs there are levels and then ups. So use these ordinary mid peaks as a stepping stone and a stepping path, whatever you want to call it, to get to those higher peaks. Food for thought.